Shall we take her for a road test? Come on, let's have a go. Right, I've just put 36 litres of fuel in and it's just on the full mark, so that fuel sender is nigh on perfect where it needs to be. So that's brilliant. I'm absolutely chuffed to bits with that. We're ticking over just over about 600 revs, which is a bit low. Oil pressure's dropped right down because we're really hot, as in the temperature outside is really hot, but the fan's running so we're cooling down. And if I rev her up, the oil pressure goes right up to 60 as it did before, so I'm happy with that. Right, let's see what she can do. Right, let's have a look. Doesn't look like there's anything leaking. I've got a small oil leak, I think, on the front main oil seal. Other than that, the radiator's looking good. Fans come on.
level in the expansion tank looks more or less where it needs to be, but no oil leaking on the rocker covers. Nothing bad, at least. Maybe a little weak actually, but actually that ain't bad at all, and she's running real nice. I'm pretty happy with that, I have to say. No fuel leaks, so that's all good. We'll have to do something with that aluminium shield there. That looks bloody awful, that. We're going to have to get something better made for that. Anything fell off? Let's have a look underneath. Okay. Everything as it should be, temperature's where it needs to be. Oil pressure's ticking over at 20 psi, so I'm pretty happy with that. It's just under 1,000 revs, 850, 900 revs, something like that. It's pretty good. Bit of a clutch judder when you pull away, and we have got a fairly wobbly wheel when we about 60 miles an hour, and the speedo is way off, about 10 miles an hour out at 70 miles an hour. So when it's on 60, it's showing around about 50 miles an hour on my GPS, and when it's on 80, that is actually 70 miles an hour. So it's going to take a little bit of working out. It's a good job it's under and not over. But yeah, overall I am pretty happy with that. It's not a very comfortable ride in a way, but in other ways it is actually quite bearable. The suspension is obviously pretty rock hard, so that's not good when you hit a pothole, and it's very low, so if you go over a speed bump, that's not very handy. But nonetheless, I'm actually pretty happy. I've just been and booked it in for its MOT, which I'm going to do to make sure that we comply from a safety point of view. It doesn't need an MOT, it's not law because it's over 40 years old, but nonetheless, do you know what? I think we're doing all right. Wheel wobble at 60 miles an hour, and I've got a bit of gearbox noise or back axle or something, maybe centre bearing on the top shaft, don't know, but it's a bit of a rubbing noise rather than a grinding or a whining. So I'm not too worried. I'm going to change the gearbox oils anyway. Now we're behind the tractor. I'm going to change the gearbox and back axle oil anyway, but generally I'm pretty happy. I've done about 40 miles, and country roads and open road and just crawling along. Don't like sitting in traffic much. Doesn't overheat. I mean, I've got that well under control, well happy. But I have used quarter of a tank and I've done 40 miles. So yeah, that's going to be food for thought. As I said, oil pressure I'm pretty happy with. 1500 revs, I've got 30 psi. 1000 revs, I've got 20 psi, and when it's revving at about 2.5, I've got just over 50. So I'm quite happy there. So yeah, clutch a bit of a judder, as I said. It does want to go, and the more I drive it, either I'm getting used to it, or actually the better it's becoming. So that's quite good. I mean, it's definitely not that comfortable, but I never expected it to be, and there's not as many clumps and bangs as there was. So maybe I'm just shaking everything down and getting everything levelled out. It's not done much in the past, few months, I suppose. So yeah, I think it's, well, I for what I've got, I mean, there's still a lot of work to do, but I reckon she's a good one. Got no leak on the front main, and I've got to do the fan bearing, what would be the fan bearing if it had a fan on it. So that's easy enough. But I think engine wise I've got pretty much everything sorted. Might tighten down the rocker cover a little bit because it seems like there's a little bit of a weep on the rocker cover gasket on the right hand bank. But and say gearbox and transaxle. So yeah, I reckon she's a good one. I'm well happy. Well, that was a hot and sweaty drive. That was done about 40 miles in the Capri. That's the furthest I've ever driven it. I've done all sorts of tests, acceleration, braking, cornering. A few things have shown their hand. There's quite a lot of noise, but it seems to have settled down quite a bit. I'm quite happy that it's not too bad. It is stripped out, there's no carpets, there's no sound deadening, there's nothing of that nature, so there's going to be rattles and creaks and bangs, I'm sure there is. A lot of it I think is from the exhaust. Got a bit of a gearbox noise, it's a lot of a scrapey noise rather than a rubbing noise rather than a whine or a grind, so I'm not too worried about that. I'm going to change the oils as I say, so yeah, I think that was successful. I think that was a successful, say that when you're hot and sweaty, that was a successful road test, and I've proved the electronics and I've proved the engine. Everything's where it needs to be from that point of view, so I'm absolutely spot on with that. I'm glad I've got that done. So just a few little things to get tidied up before the MOT, and hope you join me for that when we do it. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already, put a like on the video, comment on the video, see what we're doing, look around on our playlist, check out what we're doing on our channel. It'd be great to have you along. Take care, see you on the next one.